Y'all, DDG's mom is spiraling over Halle Bailey's new boo.
And when I say she
Crashed out. She crashed out extra bad. She is all over the internet throwing shade, making slick comments, and now word in the streets is that she's supposedly demanding a paternity test for baby Halo. But apparently DDG's family is convinced that H's new boo been around way longer than anybody thought, and they think he might be Halo's real dad. And y'all already know, DDG's mom is no stranger to hopping into the drama, but this time she's taking it to a whole new level, practically accusing Halle of sneaking around behind DDG's back. So buckle up, because the tea is piping hot and the receipts are flying everywhere, and the story is about to get real disrespectful. Okay, so y'all have to know that we are just as shook as you are, because those pictures of Halle Bailey on vacation with her new man just hit that internet, and y'all, with everything going on between her and DDG, especially that messy custody battle over baby Halo, most of us just assumed Halle was single, laying low and keeping our head down. But those pictures flipped the whole new narrative upside
down.
See, the second those photos leaked, it became real obvious that not only is Halle booed up, but this relationship has been happening behind the scenes for a minute. And the wildest part is that nobody even clocked it until the pictures leaked. At first, nobody could figure out who their mystery man was. But y'all know the internet does not rest. And it didn't take long before they pieced it all together. His name is Scott Bridgway, and he's a music producer who's worked with some big rappers, including Kendrick Lamar. But buckle up, y'all, because here's where it gets real interesting, because fans did some digging and receipts started popping up. And turns out Scott and Halle have been together for way longer than we suspected. Scott helped produce Kendrick's GNX, and he even went on tour with him. Now fast forward to May this year, and Halle attended the GNX concert in North Carolina. But according to the streets, she wasn't there just for the music. Word on the streets is that she was front and center supporting her new
boo.
But the real question has everybody asking, how does DDG feel about Halle moving on? Especially after everything they've been going through with baby Halo and the messy breakup and the internet drama. You think that he'd be keeping it cute and moving on too, right? Well, not exactly, cause from what we've been seeing, DDG is not handling this well at all. Sure, he's been trying to act unbothered, posting like life is good and smiling for the cameras, but behind the scenes he's pressed and the cracks are starting to show. But let me break this down for y'all. Remember how DDG recently threatened to end Lil Rodney's son's career out of nowhere? Well, yeah, it turns out that wasn't random at all. Word on the street says that DDG flipped when he found out that Rodney had been posting about Halle and her new man. And let's just say he didn't take it lightly.
I don't know if I could be post that. Hey, nigga. See, now. Alright, hey, he gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it going, y'all. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't even gonna follow through with what I was gonna do. But now, I'm finna put it together right now.
But y'all, it didn't stop there. DDG's been so triggered that he's out here blocking random fans for just mentioning hi, even when they don't tag him. Been talking about harmless tweets like this. One that said Halle Bailey living her best life with her new men. I know, that's right. Next thing we knew, they were blocked. Well, this man's crash out is wild, but it's about to get way messier, because from the looks of it, DDG isn't the only one spiraling over. Hell's new boo, because no strength is his. Mama Tanya is crashing out even harder. And you all know that Tanya and Halle never really got along to begin with. But this new relationship has Tanya extra pressed.
Sources are saying that
Tanya feels like moving on is disrespectful, especially because her breakup from DDG is still fresh since it's still under a year. But here's where it gets even more wild, because Tanya allegedly thinks Hai is only dating Scott to get under DDG's skin.
Like,
she's playing some type of PR revenge game instead of focusing on their baby, Halo. But y'all already know that Tanya's been throwing shade at Bailey for months now, and it sounds like she's ready to take it to a whole new level. And speaking of Halo, this is where things take an even crazier turn, because word in the streets is that Tanya has been all up in DDG's ear, pushing him to get a DNA test on the baby because she allegedly thinks Halo might not even be
his.
Now, the streets are saying that Tanya has been running with the theory that Hai was messing around behind DBG's back. Meanwhile, let's not forget that DBG was out here cheating on Halle left or right, allegedly linking up with Lala, and who knows who else. But suddenly, Halle has a new man. Nearly 10 months after their messy breakup, Tanya is flipping the whole narrative, hinting at paternity fraud. Y'all, this math is not exactly mad. Now, y'all already know that the internet wasn't about to let Tanya slide with that mess, because fans pulled the receipts quick, fast, and in a hurry and dragged her for filth. Let's be real a second for a millisecond. UG's been out here wing out ever since Ellie cut him loose. We've been booed up with Linda Love for months now. And y'all, the relationship has been chaotic to say the least.
I knew you weren't going to do it. This way?
So, if Tanya really feels like Hai kissing Scott on a yacht is inappropriate, fans were quick to remind her how that makes zero sense, because DDG and India have been doing way more than that, and they've been doing it
publicly.
I mean, let's be real here. India stays grinding on DDG in front of the cameras like it's her full-time job. And Tanya, she hasn't said nothing about
that.
But when you think about it, it's not exactly hard to see why Tanya would crash out on Halle like this and try to accuse her of fraternity fraud.
Like I
said, these two women do not like each other. And it's been proven from drama after drama with them. It only got worse when they filed the restraining order a couple of months ago, where she revealed that Tanya was an enabler. And Tanya did not appreciate being called out like
that.
For example, when Halle claimed that DBG allegedly put his hands on her and chipped her tooth, she wrote, "When we arrived at his house, I was crying and told his family what happened.
I
begged the family, who were there to help me figure out a schedule with him. They said just leave Halo and go." And ever since those court filings dropped, Tanya has been moving fast and kind of weird. But here's where it gets even messier, because insiders are saying that Tanya has been holding a grudge ever since. And that's exactly why she's been so pressed about Hai having a new man. Some folks even think that the whole paternity test talk is just Tanya's way of getting back at Hai for putting her family on blast. But let's not forget that shady little post that Tanya tried to slide in like nobody was going to notice. Y'all remember when she wrote, "I don't usually comment or say anything on this internet, even with all the negativity, lies, and hatred towards mine, but these accusations made me realize I've been quiet too long."
So,
Yeah, that didn't exactly go well, because fans wasted no time pulling up receipts and nearly came with the screenshots locked and loaded,
and she
exposed exactly how DDG barely spends time with Halo and how Tanya had been enabling him behind the scenes.
in the
Text, you can literally see High dealing with Tanya to coordinate DDG's own.
child.
High texted Tanya saying, "Just keeping you updated. We'll be back on the 11th. Haven't heard if Moo's still plans to get Halo like we talked about. If he's around, you can get him the 27th and bring him back the 4th. If not, I'll keep him till we return." Tanya then claimed that DDG didn't have time to take Halo, saying he said that he will wait until you get back together.
But
Here's the kicker. After all that, Tanya still ran to court and made a sworn declaration, lifting the whole situation and basically throwing shade on High and putting her under the bus. She blamed Hay for the breakdown, making it sound like Haley was the problem the whole
time.
and y'all already know how that went, so we're not even going to get into that on this. But basically, she claimed that High had been stalking Luigi by placing air tags in his car, and she also painted Haley as being unstable and even hinted that High tried to take herself out one time.
But y'all
Know what's truly wild about all this is this whole paternity mess. It's that Tanya just couldn't even be more shady, because it's literally been 1 week since Tanya was out here fighting for grandparents' rights and begging the courts to let her be the one supervising DBG's visits with Halo. So she went from trying to act like grandmama of the year and petitioning to stay in Halo's life to now returning around throwing shade like maybe the baby isn't even theirs to begin with. Y'all make it make sense. And fans are already clocking the contradiction, because if Tanya really believed that there was a chance that Halo wasn't family, why was she so pressed about getting court-approved time with him in the first place?
you
Can't have it both ways. Either you're claiming him or you're not. But on the other hand, fans are saying that she's salty because High fought the court to prevent her from being the appointed supervisor. Y'all remember how DDG's lawyer Bachman tried to pull a fast one in court, right? He asked the judge to let EBG visit Halo under Tanya's supervision, thinking that would somehow make those situations smoother. But Ally wasn't having none of that. Her lawyer, Jeremy Lane, shut that down immediately. He told the judge that Tanya couldn't be trusted to monitor those visits fairly. And y'all already know why. Hal's been saying from day one that Tanya enables DDG's toxic behavior, covering for him, making excuses, and turning a blind eye to the drama. And that's exactly why she filed for sole custody in the first place. And the judge agreed, ruling that DDG could still visit Halo, but only with a neutral professional supervisor in the room. And Tanya got benched.
and
It's clear that she's salty about it, which probably explains why she's been spiraling and throwing shade at Haley on social media. And at first she tried to fight back against the court decision. She swore up and down that she's perfectly capable of being the chaperone, trying to paint herself as the sweet, innocent grandmama just trying to spend time with her grandson. But the proceeds said otherwise, and fans weren't buying any of it, considering all the drama Tanya's name stays attached to. The internet quickly reminded her that she's been deep in this mess from the beginning, and now pushing wild narratives about Haley and the baby's paternity, like she hasn't been causing chaos herself behind the
scenes.
And here's where it gets real. Messy because people are starting to question if China's paternity test demands have anything to do with concern for Halo and everything to do with revenge. But the real question, how far is she willing to go to prove a point? Because the way this drama keeps escalating, something's about to blow. It's giving bitter. It's giving damage.
Control.
But most of all, it's giving. The drama is far from over. And let's be real a second for a millisecond.
Saw is
Demanding a paternity test right after Halle popped up with her new man is not a coincidence because it's given damage.
control.
The crazy part, though, is that this same woman was just fighting the courts for more access to Halo and accusing Ali of keeping Hell away from DDG is now out here questioning if Halo's even DDG's kid. Well, from the looks of it, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because if Tanya is spiraling this hard over Hell's new relationship, imagine what's coming with the next Rhonda drama. And if y'all already know, H has been real quiet. But quiet never means weak. So don't be shocked if the next time she claps back the receipts shake the whole internet. Stay tuned, y'all, because this mess is only heating up from here. Music.